It was like I won the U.S. Open finally in 2017. I'm the U.S. Open champ. I'm going to represent the United States. Not necessarily, but
you're in the
I'm in the finals, right?
The trials.
And every year I've always wrestled through the gauntlet and then had to wrestle Brent. While he's fresh and I'm, you know, that's a tall order, you know. Brent Metcalf's already Brent Metcalf. With the pace he has, and now he's fresh. And then, absolutely, I wasn't probably tip-top training the best or nutrition the best or outside life was the best. That after going through 4 matches, you know,
feeling it.
I'm a little handicapped having to wrestle Brent Metcalf. But, excuse me, at the end of the day, he was the best wrestler of those matches. Right? And Brent made me better. I got better in hand fight, and I got better in things. Defending a lefty high C. Doing all that stuff just because of Brent. So I was at the high of my highs, you know. Getting ready to finally go compete for a world title. And I know if I get the chance to go compete for a world title, somebody's going to have to kill me on that mat. You're going to have to literally kill me. I don't care if you rip off a limb, you can have it. Right? You're going to have to kill me till my heart stops to be like, you're not going to get a world title. Right? But I haven't given myself that opportunity, and now it just so happens with all the bad circumstances that's happened, it's really catapulted me as a person, and I came back stronger. I'm healthier. I got surgery. It gave me time to really sit down, get surgery, and heal. Think about, what do you want to do? You know, where is the best place for you to do? Win a world title, you know, and everything I've been through and the things I've gone through, I know, you know, the move I made. And don't get me wrong, Arizona State, I could have won a world title there. Arizona State is still my family. I love them. I think the advantage of having Kyle Dake, for me, we're both sides of the spectrum, right? And the things he can teach me and the things I can teach him, you know, things he can teach me, I can't teach him.
Yeah.
Things I can teach him, he can't teach me. And when we mix them together, we make a complete wrestler, right?
I want to go sit there and watch you two scrap.
And then when we go back and forth, it's like, okay, what are you doing here? But then when I'm in on a shot and I get the angle on Kyle, it's like, what did you do there to get that angle? Just so you're not getting burnt by anybody else, right? So.
Did you give him the nickname, the White Ape?
The White Ape, yeah.
That was from you?
That was from me. That was from me.
I bet it feels like that, huh?
Oh, he feels a little bit stronger than that. Now that he has a world title, he's like the White Hulk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just to have him and like I was saying earlier, he makes me not just a better wrestler, a better person outside. I'm thankful for Kyle Dake. Me and Kyle Dake been trying to set up to train for years. For years. I knew, you know, and you can ask the closest people around me that ever been around me since 2000. You know, I might have said it since 2011. I was like, if I ever had the possibility to train with Kyle Dake every day, sky's not even the limit, because I'd be way past it.
Yeah.
You know, we would take off. And coming out of Oklahoma State, it was a possibility. You know, when I was leaving Oklahoma State, I was looking to train with Kyle. I was talking to Cornell, talking to Cornell. And it didn't happen. I went to Arizona State. But even when I went out to Arizona State, you know, Kyle barely leaves to go train with people.
Yeah.
You know, and it said something when Kyle took off and came out to Arizona State just to train with me for 7 to 10 days. You know, and just to have Kyle in when we trained and the things we were covering and pushing each other, having each other around, it was awesome. It's a great feeling. And then when the whole USADA situation happened, it wasn't like Arizona State was like, you got to leave. They understood everything. They were behind me 100%. I could have stayed there. I had the option to stay there. I thought for my career and the situation, it simplified life for me. It's not a lot I have to worry about in Ithaca. All I got to do is worry about is getting better so Dake don't whip my butt every day, right? And if I'm not getting whipped by him and we're being competitive, I can be competitive and handle any 65, 70, 74 pounder in the world, right? And we can go up through the line. So I think it was the USADA thing only helped me get to a better place. it only helped develop me into a better athlete, and you know, I would never wish it on my worst enemies. You know, to go through it, to have to do that, then again, it's like, I'm thankful for it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Speaking of living in Ithaca, training with Kyle, big dude, world champ, amazing athlete, great defense, everything. Then you got this guy just a little smaller than you, 6, 7, 8 years younger, Yianni. What's training? I'm sure you guys roll, right? He's
all the time.
How's it different wrestling him than Kyle, aside from necessarily the weight difference?
It's a little different, obviously. Yianni's still developing, right? He's still 19 years old.
That's crazy.
This guy is still developing his wrestling mind. He's still mature in his body, right? He still hasn't grown into his man body, his man strength. And it's almost like, for me, I can say it because I've watched Kyle, and now I'm watching Yianni. It's almost like watching Kyle all over again. Yianni has a little bit more tools than Kyle, but in Kyle's positions, Kyle's darn near the best. Right? If you ever get in any of Kyle's positions, there's possibility you're never going to beat him in it. Never. There's no shot. I don't care how much you drill it. I don't care if you take a knife out and stab him. You're still not going to get the points. You're not going to give you the points. Right? And Yianni's still figuring out how to use his body in some things, but the dude is a brilliant wrestling mind, and right now, head and heels, right? You just see it from a younger age. You see guys like Kurt McHenry and Aaron Brooks, and who's the big guy? Kurt Levitt.
Oh, Kurt
right?
Levitt. Yeah, however you said.
Right. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong.
Yeah, tomato.
But yeah.
Tomato.
But them guys, right? You see these guys wrestling at a high level, like reshots, head and hand blocking.
17, 18.
And they're putting 3, 4 things together. You look back to when me and Kyle were 17 and 18, we weren't even thinking about reattacks the way they're thinking about reattacks, or scoring and the ways they're thinking about scoring. So wrestling's evolving, and USA's at such a high level that these guys are seeing the highest level of wrestling, and they're adapting to it, and they're starting it at a younger age. So Yianni, to be honest, he's way ahead of us in skills and the things he can do, and for the most part, way ahead of most of the NCAA, to be honest. The dude is a natural athlete, but to roll with him, there's positions Yianni helps me in. There's positions I help Yianni in, and we're able to bounce things off of each other, because great wrestling promotes great wrestling. You know, it's the same with me and Kyle. So when we get into a position, you know, on some people it's, I'm strong here and I'm finishing. Where Kyle's like, oh, you're good in this position, boom, boom, he moves you to a position where he's strong. And then you're like, okay, I got to fight back to get to another position where I'm strong, right? So it's this balance that you keep fighting to get to position, and then before you know it, you're 3 or 4 or 5 positions in, right? And if you go to if you're thinking about it and you go and drill these positions, if I'm your coach and I tell you, all right, I want you to hit a high crotch, guy chest wraps you, you're going crack down, you push the knee out, the guy rotates hips and gets his hips on top of you, now your back knee pounding, sliding back in. Hearing it, you're like, I'm tired already. Like, who wants to do this? I'm not doing this, coach. You do it.
Yeah,
let me see you
that's
do
a lot.
it, right? But naturally, we're doing this. Me and Yianni while we're wrestling. Me and Kyle while we're wrestling. We naturally do this every single time, right? So now these things become habits, right? It's a habit. It's not like it's something I got to think about and do. Now it's just programmed, right? And to have that is very special, and especially competing at the highest level, because now I'm programmed. I'm wrestling Yianni, who's thinking and competing at the highest level already. I'm wrestling with Kyle, who's setting traps and thinking and competing at the highest level already. But we're doing this on a daily basis, right? It's almost like, look at freaking MMA side of things. Like, look at AKA. Look at teams like Alpha Male and AKA and the most successful teams, American Top Teams and things like that. I just like to relate it to that, just because they're in there grinding every day and putting themselves in positions that when they get into the fight, nothing's surprising. If they get clipped, they've been clipped because they've been clipped in practice before because they have another world champ that they're fighting with. Same thing goes with in wrestling, right? John always used to tell me, and I've always carried it from John, number one thing, he'd be like, expect the unexpected. I want you to come out and expect to get put on your back for 5 and be down 5-0 every match.
Be ready to wrestle from there.
Be ready to train, just train that way every day. Put that in your mind. You're down 5-0, you got to make up 5 points, you want to get a tech, well, now you got to score 20 points, right? We got to put up 20, so I always carry that with me, right? And now wrestling with Yianni and Kyle, we wrestle positions that you couldn't even think about drilling and getting into. Right? We get into such weird positions and figure out little nooks and crannies and little positions of how to use hips and where to create pressure one way or the other, just naturally, and it's a flow, and it's like, it's easy, right? So
it's easy.
It's easy, so.
You say so.
It is when you're getting in there, and
yeah,
it's not so much having to break it down. We like to flow and play wrestle.
Yeah.
You know, you get in and you feel shots, and regardless, Kyle's real competitive, right? And like I was telling you, he'd try to beat you in anything. Staring contest.
Triangle.
Drawing a triangle, you know? So anything Kyle can beat you in, he will beat you in just to say he got you. He beat you, right? But it makes you better because it challenges you to open up and create a new scramble, try something new, try something different. Same thing goes with Yianni. So we got a great little system, and you know, I was telling you guys earlier, you know, this year and next year, everybody is talking about me and Rutherford and Steber and who's going to be this. Yianni's going to be in the mix. Yianni's a very, very talented young man, and he's, you know, he's still got to win his second national title.
Sure.
But if you're thinking about winning world and Olympic titles, that comes into play. A national title is part of that journey.
You're not overlooking it. It's just part of it.
It's part of it. Yeah, I got to go win this national title. Why? Because I want to be the Olympic champ, right? I might have 25,000 fans, or how many thousand fans there are at NCAAs.
Yeah.
And I got to be able to perform in front of them.